All right, this is our first road trip of the 5,000 Birds adventure. We head to the Texas coast, the Rockport area, and you know you're at the coast when you see brown pelicans. One thing I always love too at the coast is how cactus still grows there. Classic Texas, where it meets the ocean, there's still cacti. That was a great blue heron. This is a 2,000-year-old tree. Check this out. And it's huge. I did not know that this existed, and I was looking for whooping cranes, and here they flew overhead. Hey everybody, we are here on Goose Island. This is on the Gulf Coast of Texas, and look over here. I'll flip the camera around and show you, but we've got whooping cranes. That is the star of the show here, especially this time of year. So I'm going to flip around and show you. We'll try to get a good shot here. All right, you see the whooping cranes? They're huge. I wish I could get closer, but take a look at them right there in the foreground. They are big. They are popular. A lot of people come here just to see these birds. So pretty special to be here when they're here. Camera's not great here, but that's a loggerhead shrike. It let me get pretty close to it. And this is where I stayed for the night. I'm not sponsored by Hampton Inn and Suites or anything yet, but this is just the glamorous life of the birder in the resting quarters. Good morning, everybody. It is 6:05 here in Rockport. This is the morning in the glamorous life of a birder and birding enthusiast. I packed I tried to be good, and I packed meals for this trip, but I forgot my yogurt. So we're gonna go to Plan B and figure something out. It's early, it's still dark outside, but you know what? I can't wait to get up to the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, see some more whooping cranes, and hit the road. Got my hotel coffee here, so ready to go. Let's ride. Of course, 7-Eleven down the street had all the yogurt and the coffee I could want. Can't be a road trip without road trip music. All right, here we are at the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge. It's just beautiful. Deer, there are sandhill cranes flying overhead. So if you're ever looking for whooping cranes, or whoopers as they call them, look out for sandhill cranes too, because they're often hanging out together. And look at that. It's the beautiful bay there. In the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge. It's awesome. This is a premier place to see whooping cranes. It turns out I did not see any while I was on my adventures there. But I mean, the gift shop there sells little plush toys of the cranes. It's definitely a place where people look for them. So there's some fun facts if you want to pause that and read a little more in depth. All right, check this out. How cool is this platform here at the wildlife refuge? I just think it's so. I think it's just wonderful when these parks have these. There's one down in Santa Ana on the border, the Texas-Mexico border, and it's a watching platform, and it's super cool. See, I mean, you just see the coolest stuff. There's some vultures right there, but you just get such great views, and I just think it's so wonderful when they have these available. One of my favorite birds right here, the American kestrel. You can't tell that it's a falcon. It's so small. It is the smallest falcon in North America, but it is fierce. Small but mighty. Check out these guys. These are turkey vultures, and kind of an eerie sight when they're in all the trees like that. But that's what they do. Let's do a 360-degree look at this observation tower. All right, I love being at the ocean, so I just think this is so beautiful. And then here you are in the big tree trail right next to it. It's so cool. Northern cardinal, fan favorite. Texas state bird, the northern mockingbird. Check out all the cedar waxwings, pretty cool. You know, it's funny birding in Texas. This is not an uncommon sign, so you got to be careful out there. See these pink birds over here? Those are roseate spoonbills. Those are pretty cool. You see them mainly here on the coast, but they're pink, kind of like flamingos are, but they've got a spoon-shaped flat bill that they eat with. This is a great-tailed grackle, which are very common in Texas. And here we are on the ferry that takes you, that I am in my truck on a ferry taking all of us from Aransas Pass to Port Aransas. It's a very quick ride, but I had never done that before, and obviously had some seagull friends joining us here. This is a birding center in Port Aransas that appears to be a great egret, which they're enormous if you've never been next to one before. All right, check out this alligator. A sign talking about the yellow-rumped warblers, also known as butterbutts. Got a little stick of butter on the back of their butt, it looks like. Again, this is the Turnbull Birding Center. And these are long-billed dowitchers, kind of mesmerizing. Good morning, everybody. We're here at the Suter Wildlife Refuge in Corpus Christi. And behind me here is Texas A&M University at Corpus Christi. And this is just a great park. I've stopped here several times just on birding journeys, and it's an excellent spot for all sorts of birds that you find down by the ocean. So if you're ever in Corpus Christi, you should check it out. These laughing gulls are an easy audience. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey fella, why the long face?" Classic. These little birds are called black-necked stilts, and they look like they've got little tuxedos on, and they're shorebirds, and they just poke their beaks in the water, and that's how they eat. But yeah, there's a bunch of them here on the Texas coast, and they're just super fun. All right, this is the Nueces River. This is Hazel Bazemore Park, and in about 6 months from now, there are going to be birds of prey, hawks, raptors, flying everywhere overhead here. This time of year, not nearly as exciting with that, but it's still a really good spot to check out if you're in the Corpus Christi area. This is just a little west of there, but just beautiful along the river here, and just a great park. You should check it out if you're in the area. I never get tired of looking at the moss that grows on trees. That's so cool. And of course, cotton ball clouds. Who can't be relaxed on that? And just being down near the Nueces River is lovely. And it's so important. You know, I talk about conservation in my bio, but it's so important that we keep these rivers clean. When I'm out birding, I try to pick up trash as much as I can, and that's just so important for the habitat and for the people and the birds who live in the area. And next up here, we're going to hear white-eyed vireos, and listen for the way that people remember their call is quick, pick up the beer, check. You hear that? So that helps you remember their little call back and forth. You can't see them very well from here, but speaking of raptors, there's some red-shouldered hawks flying up over there. You hear that call? That's them. This is what's called a bird blind, and what's nice about these is that you can see birds through here, right? Like, you know, little water drip areas, but um, but you know, you can kind of be subtle, so you can see them, but they really can't see you all that well. And that's the whole idea, is to create a space where they feel safe, but you can also watch them from a distance. And what's nice about birding in areas where there's a lot of cool birds is that that there are groups that make these so that you can have a more enjoyable birding experience. We are here at the Hazel Bazemore Hawkwatch platform. This is kind of famous in the birding world, but one thing I just think is super cool is when groups of birders keep track of all the birds, and it's just it's to me it's really part of what makes birding special. Is it's a community effort, and everybody works together to make it happen. Oop, hold on. As usual, I got distracted by a bird. In this case, it was a green jay, which is a specialty bird, really in South Texas. But you can see them there in Corpus Christi. And if you look at the map, you can see lots of different birds through the flyway, especially during migration. I know it's supposed to be a hawk platform, but check out all the cardinals and a couple sparrows. Of course, the road trip has to come to an end, and why not swing by the most famous convenience store in Texas, Buc-ee's in Luling. I took the back roads home back to Austin and went through the town of Lockhart as well. This is one of my favorite spots. It's called Old Pal, and it has a frozen boozy Dr. Pepper concoction. Great way to end a road trip.